You are listening to Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back. It is another episode of Season 3 Digging In Podcast, and it is sponsored by, yes, Rooted Wealth Advisors. I'm your host, John Savarino, and today we have a very, very special guest, Jerry Fuesel. Jerry, glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. How excited are you?
I'm very excited.
Jerry's stoked about this. So for those of you that don't know who are tuning in, Jerry is our Director of Operations here at Rooted Wealth Advisors, and he is going to take our operations team to a whole another level when it comes to primarily servicing our clients that we love and appreciate, but also just the ins and outs of operations as a whole. So, Jerry, the first question that I want to ask you, because I still giggle to myself when I think about our first interaction when we first met, tell me about your new nickname here at Rooted Wealth Advisors.
So on day one, I was not in the office just yet, and Zach had asked, "Where's Jer Bear?"
Wait, you weren't even in the office
I wasn't there yet. So when I arrived, one of our colleagues had said that Jer Bear is now here, and it stuck. And so I'm now known as Jer Bear in the office. So
not what you were expecting, is that correct?
Not for the first 15 minutes, but it was. So it was exciting. It was a good way to break the ice.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, we like to have fun here. And not only are we kind of like a big family, but, you know, our clients included are family to us as well. Tell me about when you told your wife after your first day.
Yeah, so I told her that I was given a nickname right out of the box, and I said, but, you know, it was a good thing because it, you know, very good-natured and on many levels, and it really shows the type of people that are here and, you know, what really matters, and that is connecting people together, and that's what I felt for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that you took it so well, because I think that speaks about you as well, not only your character, but how you fit into our team, quite frankly. Now, Jerry, I mean, you have, in my opinion, but I think everyone can agree with this, an extensive background working for some really high-level companies. What I'm curious is, you know, not only what was your first impression when you first started working here, besides the nickname, but I also really want to dig in on a lot of that career experience and how it's ultimately shaped, you know, your professional life to this day.
Sure. So a brief background, I've been in financial services my whole career. I worked for a French bank initially out of my when I first started, and we had a very global book of business, hedge funds, private equity, really neat and interesting types of financial products. And I've worked in other financial service companies, primarily in Chicago, really working with private funds, alternative investments, et cetera. And when I was approached to come to Rooted, what was interesting to me is the first thing I did is I looked at the website, and it was a differentiator for me because it really showed the people connection of all of the staff here. And so then when I came in and talked with the team here, you know, that interpersonal connection is really what's valuable to the firm, how it treats its clients, and it really did resonate with me. One of the things I really wanted to do in my career at this point was really to make an impact. To me, that is making an impact for, you know, the staff, you know, to help mentor and to work with the staff, with the clients to make sure we have a better a really good experience, you know, that they're having in terms of the servicing of their accounts. So, you know, for me, it felt different, and making an impact was something I felt Rooted does and something that I wanted to be a part of.
Wow, that's really incredible. And, you know, before I even met Jerry, you know, if I'm being transparent with our viewers, I'll always give folks the benefit of the doubt and give them a chance, right? But I'm always a skeptic, right? I'm always a skeptic with people. And as I heard a lot of the team talk about Jerry, everyone's like, man, like Jerry's next level, like Jerry's the guy, not only on a professional level, but just him as a human being is the type of guy that I want to be around. And I thought, I'll be the judge of that. After the first day I met you, I went back to our Champaign office where I'm based out of, as everyone knows. And I told Emily, I said, Emily, I hate to admit this. I'm like, but I really like Jerry. And I think that he is going to be just going to bring immense value to our team. So I just want you to know, and I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here next to me, everyone speaks really highly of you. And tell me more about like the career experience, because like French bank, like that sounds really cool to me, and I'm sure our viewers think it's pretty cool too. So like, what did you learn from it?
So I ran the operations for our fund-to-fund business. Was the business was based in Paris, but we had built the operations in Chicago. We started in a very small type of product offering, and we grew it tremendously. So we started with about $500 million of assets, a few products, and we grew it to $26 billion. So it was a really interesting trajectory of business, and very global. We had clients throughout the world, Asia, Europe, and so it was a very interesting experience for me, quite frankly. And then I went to other more regional firms, very similar types of products, again, in alternatives and private funds. And so, for me, I've always looked at it as, a very complicated, sophisticated product offering. But to me, coming to Rooted, it was really taking knowledge transfer and taking some of the, types of products that I worked on and utilizing, some of the platforms that we had built and some of the servicing that we had built out, and really to translate it to a different level here at Rooted with the types of clients that we have here. So feel like that's a good transition. It's been a few weeks now coming in, but very exciting for me with the team and the types of offerings that I think we can continue to develop.
Wow, that's, impressive background to say the least. Now, am I correct? I think you had mentioned most, if not all of your career has been based in Chicago.
Correct.
Now, out of curiosity, what was it like working, in like not only commuting there, but like just working in that type of environment? Because surely it's different than working.
It's very different. And to be honest with you, I didn't, think I would be coming to Bourbonnais to work. As I said to my wife, I've been looking north the whole time, and I should have probably been looking south. And I was, as I was looking for my next opportunity, this was very unique. And like I said, the impact that the firm has on its clients was something that resonated with me, and thought, I can be impactful as well, and thought that coming to Rooted would be a very good next step for me in my career.
Wow. So as you think back, and this might be putting you on a spot a little bit, so feel free to bypass the question, but as you think back in your career, is there any certain moment, was there a turning point that you can lean into to say, man, like that is really where like my career not just took off, but just was a turning point for you? Is there any memory there that you could lean into and share with us?
Absolutely. So it was interesting because like I mentioned before, I was in hedge funds, and hedge funds have gone in various iterations, but we really significantly grew in 1 year, and at that point was really the time when we had a lot more investments to make. We had to really develop our platform and really look to our platform and to put in the right controls and the right types of processes to make sure that we could effectively control that, make sure we didn't have any issues, any problems with it. And from that point on, I felt like I have the ability to be able to, develop, assess, develop a platform, and to be able to process properly.
Wow, that's so cool. And I'm glad that that was that point, right? Like you know that. So that's actually really incredible. So one last question, professionally, related. So when we had kind of just got to know each other, I thought let me just ask it to you. What's your perspective on operations? When you just think of operations as a whole, what do you think about? Like, what is operations to Jerry?
Sure. So, which is a great question because, I always think of, the operations as the platform that really is where you need to have the most effective part of the business. The sales is important, the client servicing is important, but you really need to have the right controls. You need to have the right, segregation of duties, different types of controls in place to make sure that you, obviously want to avoid problems, avoid issues with processing. And so we're constantly looking at the platform to say, how can we make it more efficient? How can we scale it so that we can continue to, as we grow, that we can scale that platform to make sure that we have the right process, the right controls in place. And that's, to me, where I think we have to constantly look at and make sure that we have the best platform to service our clients.
Wow. If anyone was questioning Jerry's level of thinking when it comes to operations, that answer should have changed your perspective. So less about Jerry the businessman. I want to talk about Jerry the family man. I just noticed or saw that your wife's going to be getting in just an incredible award, Marie, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me more about your family, but specifically Marie, like maybe a chance to brag on her here for a couple minutes, because the research that I'd done, you married up. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's what. No, it's great. I have I have a son and a daughter. My son's in Chicago. He's a CPA, works for an audit firm. My daughter is in Cincinnati. She works for a firm that works with clients, marketing, data analytics. So both doing well professionally. And married to my wife, Marie, who is a leukemia survivor.
Wow.
And so as she's, once she was able to get through her ordeal with her, with her leukemia, she cannot give blood. She's prohibited from doing that. And one of the things that she decided to do was pay it forward. And so she started to get involved with the American Red Cross and noticed that they didn't have any presence in the southwest side of Chicago, mostly north and west suburbs. And so she got involved with them, asked if she could develop blood drives in the southwest side, which she did. And she ran about 25 of those blood drives successfully. And the Red Cross was really excited about it, and they decided to open up a permanent facility in Orland Park.
Wow.
So she's made a difference and impact, and so the American Red Cross this year is giving her a reward or award for the service that she did, which is really exciting.
Wow, that's super exciting, and I'm sure you're super proud of her and what she's been able to do with that. If someone wants to maybe donate blood and doesn't know how, can you tell us how?
The American Red Cross is who we utilize. There are other services, but if you were to Google the American Red Cross, there's lots of different blood drives that they have throughout all different parts of, like I said, we focus on the southwest side, but there's different facilities that they have, and it's exciting. It's something that is really needed, and something that we do on a very consistent basis.
Wow, that's amazing. That's all I can say there. That's amazing. So maybe one more question. What can we find Jerry doing outside of work?
I like to work out. I like to bike. I do that quite a bit with my wife, and I do enjoy golfing as well.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So I golf, and something that I can do with my family as well. My son likes to golf. My daughter does as well.
Is there a favorite place up in the suburbs that you like to golf?
I'm one of those who can golf really wherever and
that's the kind of guy we like.
So could do that, but we try to golf once a week if possible. But I enjoy it. I'm not very good, but I still enjoy getting out and playing.
Have you went with Joe yet?
I've not. We've talked about it, so I think at some point we'll have to do that.
Yeah. So just a forewarning, like love Joe, right? We love Joe. Forewarning with Joe. So I was supposed to golf with him, one of our advisors, and wasn't able to do it. I had a race that weekend, and The particular person that I'm talking about, I won't even say their name, but he goes with Joe. Joe's a member at Kankakee Country Club, and Joe's a great golfer. The advisor that I'm speaking about, that I won't name, not that great of a golfer. So he was just hoping to hang out with Joe, get around and, spend some time at the country club. He says it wasn't even 2 minutes. Joe has me involved in this group of 30 people competing against each other, and I didn't even get to play in the same group as Joe.
Oh, wow.
And I just thought it was so funny. But Joe's super passionate about golf. I used to be I love playing a round of golf. But over the last few years, it's taken a back seat. But hopefully maybe one day we get to...
we're going to have to get something organized.
We'll have to get around in soon. But... for those of you watching and listening, if you couldn't already tell, I'm super excited once again to have Jerry here. My start in this industry came in the operations department. So I have a soft spot in my heart for operations, and it's something that I've always been close to, and really excited to have you here and see where we can take things. With that being said, what I would recommend doing if you're watching is going to deeprootsbook.com to claim your free copy of our founder, Zach Gray's new book, Deep Roots. It is an Amazon bestseller, so you want to go, once again, to deeprootsbook.com. If you want to chat with myself, give Jerry a hard time, maybe another advisor on our team about your situation, maybe you just have a few questions, give our office a call. It's 866-766-8332. Once again, 866-766-8332. Thank you for watching another episode of Digging In Podcast. Jerry, once again, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This was Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.